Today's video is brought to you by Magic at Willis. Use the code ACCUMULATEDKNOWLEDGE to get 5% off your next order. Link available in the description box below.
Alright, hey everybody, it's been a while since I've made a video, but I am back today just to talk about all the fantastic news that we'll find out about Zendikar Rising today. This video today comes kind of like with a cynical view, sort of just because I feel like a lot of people agree that the state of Magic in 2020 has been a bit rough with all the extra products, all the extra ways things have been done here and there, stories, etc., just constantly bannings. It's been a rough year. So as we are looking towards a rotation and a brand new set coming out and something that, some fresh blood into the mix, we're all hoping that things can get a little better here. So I wanted to talk about today's video, today's information, and just sort of judge it in the way of whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for players' reactions and investment into Magic. So let's start off here with the trailer, the cinematic trailer that showed up today. It was alright. I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of the trailers since the War of the Sparks trailer has kind of missed the mark, just because we're sort of missing that story that we've had in that long Bolas Arch story. And I think we're all wanting to have something like that again, but still overall it was a well-made trailer. For some reason, personally, when I was watching this, I thought maybe it would have some sort of connection to the Magic the Gathering game that they're working on. But I guess that's just kind of that party adventuring theme that Zendikar seems to have showing through. So mostly fine. I thought this caption was a bit odd. Out here, everything wants you dead. Feels like that's how every Magic plane works, but fair enough. So let's just move along.
The Gathering. That Sky Cliff is an adventure. Let's find out what's been.
Hi, Jimmy and Becca. Welcome back to Zendikar. I hear you're about to go on an adventure to learn about the card set. So let me tell you a little bit about what's been happening on this plane since the last.
So here we find out about the planeswalkers that we've already known about. That's alright. We'll just squeeze past along that.
We have Nahiri. Next up, we have a card that features within the sky. I'm really excited.
Then we got teased the Nissa art, which we found out what the Nissa was right afterwards. After the stream.
Adventure!
So let's talk about that Jace card we just saw. It had Kicker, a fan favorite mechanic that we are very excited to bring back in Zendikar.
So the first mechanic we see, of course, is Kicker, which we already knew about. And if I had to put on the scale of good to bad, it probably leans slightly towards the bad side, because Standard right now is suffering from a ramp problem. So putting more ramp reward cards, such as things in the Kicker theme, probably aren't fantastic. But regardless, it's usually a pretty popular
Zendikar
and successful mechanic.
Rising. In fact, let's check out a new card with Kicker, and that's Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay.
And we see that already with the first card they show off is another Fatal Push variant. For 1 mana, you can kill something with 2 or less, and Planeswalker with the going rate of 4 mana, you can do Planeswalker and creature. So it's probably not going to see that much play because it's a sorcery, but potentially.
Blood Chief's Thirst. This is a attack. 2 or less against. Look no further than the.
Of course, as expected, Landfall has returned in this set. It's Zendikar, so it just makes sense. And they showed off the Lotus Cobra reprint at Rare here, which seems like a good one. Again, this makes you feel a bit concerned because of the immense ramp themes in Standard right now, and we're looking towards ramp continue to be a thing after rotation with Uro, but we'll see how things play out. We're also going to look at the alternate art versions of these cards, which are meant to look like travel posters. I think they look quite vibrant. I think they quite look nice. They might even look pretty good in foil, so we'll see how that plays out. We're going to have a look at the running meme, I guess, of Omnath continuing to pick up colors as it keeps coming back. We've got a 4-color Omnath. Seems quite strong. Seems like a fun commander as well. Seems like a maybe might have a place in Modern, who knows, just because of this landfall ability. So we'll see how Omnath squeezes in, but people are pretty happy. So I think it's a good thing. It's another full color commander that commander players usually want outside of partners, so it's good. Thanks, Wizards.
Back and it's the battle math.
The set, but
Hey, I'm glad it's so
I think running.
car party mechanic.
So this is our third mechanic of the set called Party, and pretty much it's cards that reward you for having
It's aimed at making you feel
different creatures of various creature types of the sort of like the D&D exploration theme. Here we go. If you have a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard, my initial impressions of this is that it's weak, that potentially it's just sort of playable in some commander decks maybe that generally play those or whatever, but like it just seems like a lot of these payoffs require you to have a full party, and I haven't seen the set, obviously the full set, but just the idea of having 4 creatures of different creature types when you do something seems like you're asking for a lot there. So I don't expect much to come from this party mechanic, and I feel like a lot of the rares, mythics, and cards that are related to the party mechanic are kind of just going to be busts. So not a good mechanic, I think. So for example, here, Acquisition Expert enters the battlefield. A target opponent reveals a number of cards from their hand equal to the number of creatures in your party. So you choose one of those cards and play discards. For example, if you have, so this will come in, you'll have a rogue, maybe another warrior, they'll choose their 2 worst cards and you can remove it. It's okay. Maybe we will see a party deck take shape and maybe it'll be okay, but I just feel like it's too susceptible to board wipes and removal. Another example of a party card, Detain is back in its full text form. And it seems pretty strong. You can sacrifice it to give all your creatures hexproof or indestructible. So even on that side, it's good. But just the party stuff is just hard to nail.
party.
Bring that cool stuff.
I think one thing to note though is with the party, the one sad thing is that a lot of people who were wanting more allies with the Zendikar set are not going to get that because they're focused around the 4 tribals instead of the ally mechanic. So no more allies, I think. Maybe there'll be a couple here and there. So the spiciest mechanic that might change how Magic is played is modal DFCs. So as we're about to see,
Now, in the league,
on the back side, we have a tap land, taps for a single color. On the front side, we have a spell. So this is the mechanic where you can choose to play your cards out as lands as you flip them as they come into the board, or you can play the front side later on in the game. And yeah, I mean it's a really interesting mechanic, and I think maybe the reaction from players have been a little bit subdued because of how many leaks and spoilers have been previously, but it'll be interesting to see how it affects deck building and see how many of these cards come out, because they might end up just being like auto includes if there are lands on the other side and powerful spells on the front. Then we're going to see these in a lot of decks. A lot of times it just feels like it's a utility land, really.
pathway tap for.
And of course, these come with the new land cycles that are 1 color on the front and 1 color on the back.
Blue on one side, black
here.
on the other.
So these are the new dual lands of
All
Zendikar.
you do is
Seems good. Seems interesting. I like it. It would have been nice if they, of course, had the land types on them, but of course, it makes sense that they don't. So
you have them in your hand. You just
yeah, you get to choose which one comes in. So we'll see if these end up in the junk pile or if they. I mean, I assume they're fantastic for Commander. The other weird thing is that there's 6 of them in this set. There's 3 allies and 3 enemies for this split. And apparently Mark Rosewater on Tumblr has confirmed that the other 4 are coming very soon. So maybe they're in Commander Legends, maybe they're in Commander decks. Maybe they're in a set next year. I wouldn't consider that very soon, but you know, time certainly is flying right now.
say Dark Water Pathway. Choose the side you pieces of art.
Obviously, they're beautiful in their full art forms as well.
We'll have a easy to use. You just leave card, right? So here's a modal DFC helper card.
Very interesting approach. Obviously, because there's a lot of modal DFC cards apparently in the set. You can just get these blank ones where you write the front and the back, and then whatever reminder text that you need on the card. So, bit of an interesting approach. Make your own DFC. Just seems fine.
They're really the
It's time to what's up. Start with the you can get foot in.
Of course, Zendikar set comes with full art lands. It's not that much significant news really, since almost every set really these days comes with full art lands, which is a good thing overall for Magic, to give more choices. That lands don't really have to have that half and half. They can all just continue to be full, and you just get to pick which ones you get to play. So no surprises there. I think they mentioned that you have one slot in collector boosters to get one foil land, so bit of a shame. Could have seen some more there, but that's alright. Of course, now the spicy topic
Any of the booster displays.
is expeditions are back, but they're not expeditions in the packs, they are box toppers, so they really shouldn't be called expeditions just by their frame. And there are 30 cards in the land slot for the box toppers. If you buy a booster box, you will get one. If you buy a collector booster box, you get two, and they're all non-foil. There is, I think, there's a slot in the collector booster for these box toppers, and there's a 1 in 6 chance of them to be foil. So it's more fetches in the market. I don't think these will be quite as expensive as the expeditions of the past, because they're just, you know, box toppers, and there's just going to be a lot of them. And so far, the cards and the 30 lands in the list have been pretty positive, pretty good. So, and also in the stream that they confirmed later on that Modern Horizons 2 is coming next year, and the enemy cycle of lands, fetch lands, have been confirmed to be in that slot. And I saw somewhere on Twitter that they are confirmed to be in the rare slots. So, if you wanted to buy your enemy rares, enemy fetches maybe next year, and Modern Horizons 2 is the time to get them.
Your
That's amazing.
cool.
Yes.
Yep, one of the lands and part of the things is the Battle Bond lands that are very popular in Commander. So they're probably on the lower end of the EV maybe. I don't know quite. It's hard to see how MTG Finance will settle on these cards, but we all know we want to get fetches. Like, for example, Prismatic Vista. It's not the best pull you want to see. You definitely want to just see a pure fetch, but it's all right. Of course, there's this complicated thing of the card set booster where you will grab
A lot of you out there
one of these to open
collector
packs,
boosters and the car goodness.
and there's just there's just so much. There's that random special list slot as well. So, like, I think the one thing for this is that there's just an overwhelming amount of information really on how to get your cards. It's no longer simple of just here's the set, here's some masterpieces, here's a box topper, that's it. Now we've got the draft boosters, we've got the set booster that has its own rarity mix, foil slot, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and then we've got the collector booster that has its own slots. There's standard legal cards thrown in, there's non-standard cards, non-standard legal cards thrown in there. It's just all over the place. There's themes ish in these set booster packs, so it's really complicated. And I don't, for me personally, that just kind of pushes me more towards, hey, just, you know, buy the singles. Reprints are always good. It's not a bad thing, but we'll see how these sort of variation of boosters pay off for wizards and people who like to pick up cards and stuff. So, I mean, like, for example, I don't even know, as someone who wants to collect some Zendikar, do I buy a booster box of Drax boosters, or do I pick up a booster box of set boosters? And I don't even know if they mentioned if that comes with a box topper or something. So yeah, it's kind of a real confusing mix to get into.
Could be foil. Next up, a
Look at this special art card that you can get that has a chance to have a gold signature on it. Everything's gonna be special.
guide.
Yep, there is the special slot in the set list that has the list, as they said. There's the 3 examples of cards that can show up there with the original frame. As you can see in the bottom left, it has that little booster pack thing that we saw in Mystery Boosters. So this seems to be a current theme. They're just going to be continually finding ways to reprint old cards, hopefully making them more accessible. So that's good. Bad for collectors, good for new players.
They're safe out.
Ooh. Okay, let's
2021
Now we're looking into what's coming up next year.
let's
world.
Our first set that we're going to is Kaldheim, which a lot of people were speculating about last year. So the guesses were just a year off. So it looks like it'll be good fun, a Viking set. After that will be Strixhaven, the School of Mages, which is very funny to me because not that I'm a Hearthstone player, but I just know Hearthstone just released a School of Magic set. So it's funny to see those two line up like that.
And it's a set unlike anything we've done in the making.
That we
This one is a bit weird. The third
this is
set of the
a
year will
full
be
black-bordered
a full black bordered D&D set. I thought more people would be upset by that, but looking at the Twitter polls, Magic put up a poll today saying, which set next year are you looking forward to most? And they said that the D&D set was winning. And I just noticed in this guy's background, what is up with all the shoes that he has? There's a lot of shoes. Anyways, so people seem to be happy with this D&D set. So if that's how the people are responding, then that's great. You know,
has been
I mean, I'm sure there's been market research before they invested all this time into making something like
The
this. So
premier-
I'm sure they know what they're doing.
not want to.
The ideas for how to bring back that kind of classic.
This is, of course, teasing the Innistrad set that's coming up.
On Van.
And apparently, it's a weird thing where they've got too many ideas or too many cards, so they've just shoved it across 2 sets: Innistrad Werewolves and Innistrad Vampires. Something about a vampire winning, and they're going to be spaced out in that 4th quarter. And these are not the final set names. I don't know why they don't just throw them out there, but it's kind of like the keyword before, you know, when they had like set kayak and set macaroni, whatever. It's like werewolves and then vampires. So
Fire role play. Brand new draft experience.
we got a paper set of Time Spiral Remastered. For those who want to experience the Time Spiral set for the first time or experience the memories they've had in the past again, people seem pretty excited about that. People seem pretty happy. This also has a old border slot. Again, just like the list, people seem to have an affection towards these old borders, so they're bringing those and putting them with the high quality treatment that they deserve. Then between quarter 3 and quarter 4, we have Modern Horizons 2, which I mentioned before, comes with the enemy fetch lands cycle. But it's really surprising to see this because I feel like a lot of the feedback that I saw about Modern Horizons 2 was that, well, Modern Horizons was great. You pumped a bunch of new cards into Modern. It's cool. You shook it up. Commander got a lot of new cards, but could you not do that again for a while? So the fact that they are reprinting the lands could mean that they're breaking the whole we're not going to reprint old cards rule that they did with Modern Horizons, which means that it could just turn more into a Modern Masters style set, or the whole set is also brand new cards, but just with thrown in the land. So we'll find out whether that's the case next year, I guess, when spoiler season starts for Modern Horizons 2. So I haven't seen how people feel about that, but I feel like for me personally it's not a good thing because Modern, a lot of people complain that Modern is just shifting way too much because of the design of standard sets, and just throwing another Modern Horizon set in there just to change up everything again, it's probably not amazing. So we'll see how they go ahead with the design of Modern Horizons. Maybe they'll reprint a bunch of cards from Modern Horizons and also just playables in Modern to keep the card prices down, so that'd be good.
Officially confirmed that the
yes.
very quickly. So if
Shoo.
you're interested, his favorite holiday of the year.
Back to Secret Lairs, we have a Yargle theme Secret Lair, whatever. I think it's in bad taste a little bit to keep doing these Secret Lair things just because they've struggled to fulfill previous orders. But, yeah, what you gonna do about it? There's a Walking Dead Secret Lair being teased. more corporate sort of like crossovers like they've done with the Godzilla thing. Don't know if people like that. I think a lot of people, like for me personally, when I saw the Godzilla cards, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's a cool one-off. And as you can see with Magic, it's never always a one-off. It's always just like, that's the teaser, and then they just got 3 other projects lined up. So seeing them doing more things like this, it's not great. I feel like, I think one of the main complaints about the Godzilla cards was that it was confusing and kind of like broke immersion and like didn't really feel like Magic. Continuing to do stuff like this might continue on that path of like, what are you doing? This doesn't feel like Magic, so we'll see. But you know, it's Walking Dead, zombies, Magic is zombies. Maybe it's not that weird, so we'll see. And again, it's a supplemental product. It's secret layers, so you don't have to buy them. You don't have to really play with them. It's expensive. It's out of the way, and it's only really for the people who are huge Walking Dead fans. So more choices to find, as they say. Of course, we had Day 9 show up.
Coming soon.
She teased the fact that mobile Magic Arena is coming. Seems to be a good thing. A lot of the Mac players were doubtful because they've been playing on Mac, and apparently that's just having a plethora of crashes and issues. And I think it's interesting to see Day 9 being the one to spoil this, because Day 9 on his Spellslingers, not Spellslingers, his little dorky jank YouTube series, a lot of times has these massive board states that he just like looks at and he's like, this can never come to mobile. So the fact that he's here to show this off is an interesting tongue-in-cheek aspect to that. So we'll see if that ends up being playable. If it does, it's great. It's fantastic. Magic on the Go is good. So that's it. So overall, as a player, am I happy with the look of things? Well, I think so far I am. I think there's been a lot of cards spoiled today, and we're not going to go through all of them, but there, for example, has been some cards, for example, the blue enchantment that is designed to hate out ramp decks, and if we see more hosers like that in this set to help balance standard, it's probably a good thing. And yeah, I don't know, it's just, I think nothing today has put me off. It's good to see that they're listening to the feedback and they're putting in, like, for example, we've got fetch lands at the box toppers, so hopefully like some of those accessible. And then we have fetch lands next year for Modern Horizons, which is important. So the reprints are coming, and hopefully, yeah. I don't know. I just want to say that like my initial reaction to today's news is positive. Usually, you know, it's not full of gloom as it usually is, and I think the double face cards are a good thing because they're designed to help prevent mana flooding and mana screw. So there's, you know, arguably one of the 2 worst feelings playing Magic as well. So I think it's a good mechanic. The party one is, you know, a shame, but not every mechanic is always stellar, and Kicker and Landfall are always popular and usually balanced, and we're seeing some cool cards, like for example the Crab at 1 mana that comes in and mills each opponent for 3 cards, which, you know, they're just following their old design philosophies, old cards, buffing them slightly or changing them, giving them a plus, giving them a con, and just reprinting them. So yeah, it makes new archetypes. Just so far, day 1 impressions, I think we're doing okay. So hopefully I'll make a few more videos updating my thoughts as we go along, and we'll just be seeing things through the cynical lens and seeing if things are good or not. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for checking out the video, and we'll see how this spoiler season goes.